Now I want to read it. I want to read excerpts out of this article. And then I want to ask you, because this is troubling to me. I think it's troubling to most women. I think it's troubling to almost anyone. But let me read it. Hey everyone, welcome to another Sit Down with Michael Franzese. Hope everybody is doing well. All is blessed on this end, and as always, I give all the praise, honor, and glory to our God for that. As you can see, I'm in a different location. I'm not in my studio or in another setting that we film out of. I am in London. I've been here for a week. We have been marketing and promoting the upcoming tour that starts here in London on July 2nd and goes throughout the United Kingdom for about 25 cities. Very excited about it. The people here have been wonderful. The media has really caught on and supported us. They're excited about it. Tickets are flying off the website. I got to tell you that, michaelfrancesetour.com. If you live in the area throughout the United Kingdom and you want to see us live, I can promise you it's going to be a special event. It's a dinner event in most places. We got a lot planned, giveaways, book signings. You're going to hear me on stage with some other celebrities. It's going to be a great, great, great evening all across the United Kingdom. So if you can join us, we'd appreciate it. Like I said, michaelfrancesetour.com. Get your tickets. They're flying off the website, that's for sure. We're on a march to 1 million subscribers. We passed, well past 800,000. For those of you who have subscribed, we appreciate it. Thank you for enjoying the content. We try to work as hard as we could to give you good content. And if you haven't subscribed, we ask you to. You get alerts. You'll be on top of what it is we have to deliver. So we appreciate that very much. And lastly, michaelfrancese.com, my crew and my inner circle. It's growing in leaps and bounds. I love all of them that are in there. We have a lot of interaction between us, and it just continues to get better. So it's up to you. It's your choice, michaelfrancese.com. Might be for you, maybe not, but I would ask you to give it a shot. We'll see where it goes. So many of you know I have a book coming out very, very, very soon. Very, very, very soon. It's called Mafia Democracy. In the past, I've tried to stay away from politics because it's such a hotbed issue. People get, what could I say? They get crazy online over it. We get crazy comments. People start to fight one another. It's just a bad situation that we have here in this country. I've never seen this country more divided and divisive than I have in these last several years. It's terrible, and I certainly hope that it stops. But it's going to change because I wrote this book, Mafia Democracy. I wrote it because I want to make people aware of what is going on in our government and how mob-like our government officials are actually acting, how Machiavellian the ideology has become. It's bad. People tell me, Mike, the mob should be running the country because they're disgusted with the government, and rightfully so. I appreciate that, but the mob should not be running the country. That's not what we should be doing. The government, an honest, sincere, upright government, should be running the country. The same government that our forefathers set up and that created a constitution to make sure that it was run properly. But that's not happening. And you're going to hear more of that. I'm going to get into it a little bit more. But today I want to talk about something that's a hotbed issue now. It's been a hotbed issue forever. It probably will never go away as that. It's very controversial. Right now there are protests happening all over the country, and I'm sure you know where I'm leading. And look, I have an opinion. I have, thoughts on this subject. I want to express them. And I really hope that I can express them and that they're received in such a way that maybe causes some intelligent dialogue about it. I understand people are, they're so passionate about it. I get it. But it doesn't mean that we shouldn't have intelligent dialogue about it. And that's what I'm going to try to accomplish today. And the reason I'm doing this is because there's one politician in particular, in an article that I just read today, just made these statements, that was very troubling. Very troubling. And I don't care what side of the issue you're on, what side of the aisle that you're on. There are extreme positions in everything. And I believe this gentleman took an extreme position, and it really is troubling to me. Maybe you can see it in my demeanor. Really troubling. And look, I want to tell you this right now. This is a tough area even for me. You know I'm a Christian. You know I'm a person of faith. You know I grew up as a Catholic. Catholics absolutely forbid abortion. You understand that. I'm going to tell you this from my heart. To me, it was always a little bit of a gray area. Why? Because my mentality is I don't want the government butting in on my personal life. I don't want them to. That's not why we put them in place. And what happens in a woman's body, yes, you know, it's very personal, obviously. As a Christian, as a Catholic, brought up as a Catholic rather, you know, I am pro-life. I have 7 children. So it puts me in that position. And according to my faith, this is what we believe, pro-life. But I still struggle with some of the issues. I'm being honest with you. Because again, I do not like the government telling us what we have to do in our personal lives. Yes, there are laws. We understand that. The laws are to protect the community at large, to protect people at large. I get it. But sometimes you say, okay, you know, there's a place where you stop at that. You don't interfere in our personal life. So I struggle a little bit with that, but I made it clear for all you Christians that are going to, you know, be judgmental and stand on ceremony and start to send me the comments. I get it, but I'm being honest. I'm sorry. But here's what really troubled me. There's an article today about Mayor Eric Adams, the newly elected mayor of New York, who, for me, I was excited about his election. Why? Because he campaigned on being, he was an ex-police officer, NYPD. He campaigned on being tough on crime. New York is in a shambles right now as far as the crime rate, a shambles. I worry about that. I have family there. I have 2 daughters that live in New York, and I worry about that. And I wanted a mayor to come in and say, hey, we're going to fix this because de Blasio was a nightmare. And the progressive government that's in place, that's allowing criminals to go free, that's being so soft on crime, I'm not going to read you all the statistics. It's been a disaster, not only in New York, but all across the country. And I'm sorry, but they're all blue states. What could I say? And you know what? I want to make this clear. I'm not against Democrats. But today, the Democratic Party is not what it was when I was growing up. It's not what it was 10, 15 years ago. It's not what it was when John Kennedy was in office. It's all different right now. Progressives, it's different. Okay? The soft on crime stuff, I don't get it. I'll be honest with you. And I was a criminal for 20 or 25 years. I don't get it. It makes no sense to me. So when this mayor said, hey, we're going to be tough on crime, I don't see it yet. I don't see it. And I don't like when a politician campaigns on something that is so important. He gives his word. He gets elected based upon what he's campaigned on. And then when he gets into office, he either reverses his position or he doesn't do it at all. And that's kind of what I'm seeing. Now, I don't want to put the hammer down on him yet in that regard with respect to crime. I don't want to do that. It's early yet. He's only in office 5 months, I believe. It's early. But, you know, seeing is believing. Let's see what happens. But right now, he hasn't done the job. But here's the thing. He came out with some statements about abortion that I think were radical and extreme. And I'm just wondering if women all over the country believe in his position. Now, I want to read it. I want to read excerpts out of this article. And then I want to ask you, because this is troubling to me. I think it's troubling to most women. I think it's troubling to almost anyone. But let me read it. New York City Mayor Eric Adams slammed the pro-life movement as, quote, radical on Saturday and pledged that he would fight to ensure there are no limitations on abortion. Now, let me stop here. The major part of the country, in a poll that was done, major part says they're against abortions after 15 weeks. Now, he is saying, and that's the polling. You can look it up. I just checked on it recently. Look it up. But he is saying he wants to fight to ensure there are no limitations on abortion. And here's what he goes on to say. Quote, abortion is health care. It's that simple. Now, I have a problem with that. Can anybody explain to me how abortion is health care? But let me tell you in the extreme way that he says it's health care. New York City won't let a group of radical extremists take away health care or any human right without a fight, Adams tweeted Saturday. Adams attended a pro-choice protest in New York City Saturday, said that he doesn't believe there should be any limitations on abortion. None, zero, no limitations. No, I do not, Adams said when asked at the Bands Off Our Bodies, that's the organization, demonstration in New York City, whether there should be any limitations on abortion. I think, quote, I think women should have the right to choose their bodies, Adams said when pressed again about abortions right up until the moment of birth. Men should not have that right to choose how a woman should treat their body. Well, let me ask you a question. A fetus, right up to the moment of birth, explain to me how that's the woman's body. Now, let me get into this a little bit deeper. I have 7 children. My youngest daughter, Julia, was 5 weeks premature. She was born in the 7th plus month. She was under 5 pounds. She was put in that special room on incubation with a number of other babies that were born premature. Some of them were born 3 and 4 months premature. Some of them were not even bigger than my hand. These were babies. These were not the mother's body. So I don't understand how at that point in time, Eric Adams can say that this is part of their body. It's not their body. This is the body that is being born out of their body. This is the developed human being at that point that's, yes, living off the breath of their mom, but their bodies. They're human beings at that point in time. And if they come out premature, they're human beings. How does he say this is health care? He doesn't go on to say, well, if there is a choice at that moment, or if there is a drastic situation at that moment where the mother's life is in danger, if that fetus is born, well, you're explaining it a little bit. The health care of the mother at that point in time can be an issue, but he doesn't go on to say that. He says right up to the moment of birth, a woman should have the right to choose to abort that baby because it's part of her body. Really? Ladies, do you believe that? Is there any woman out there that believes that? I saw my young daughter. She was a human being at that point. I saw these little babies. They were human beings at that point. And taken outside of the mom, they were human beings. So how is this health care? That's my question. Let's not go all over the field. He is saying this is health care. Explain that, Eric Adams, or anyone else. Explain to me how this is health care when the life of the mother is not in jeopardy. It's just a normal birth. That's it. And most of the country, most of the people are against abortion after 15 weeks. But Eric Adams is saying, right up to the moment of birth, when that is a fully formed fetus, right up to the moment of birth, the mother should be able to press the button and have that fetus aborted. That's troubling, people. It's troubling when I think of my daughter, honestly. It's very troubling. I don't understand how a mayor, a politician that has the best interest of the people at large, including that baby, can make such a horrible statement. And to me, it's horrible. And maybe I'm going to get slammed by some of you. It's okay. That's what I believe, and I'll stand by it, no matter where I am. I don't change my position. Let me go on. The comments from Adams come as pro-choice protesters are demonstrating across the country in response to a leaked Supreme Court opinion suggesting that Roe v. Wade is on the verge of being struck down. Recent Fox News polling, I know people are going to say Fox, it's in other polls too, I checked it out, believe that abortion should be prohibited after 15 weeks of pregnancy. Over half of all Americans believe that. Please, do the polling elsewhere. You'll see it's the same if they're honest polls. I've checked it out. But again, I got to ask you, how many of you really out there believe, how many really believe that abortion should be allowed right up to the moment that that baby is being born? You don't think that's murder, people? I mean, come on. Now again, I want to go back and tell you my feeling. I do not like the government having control over our lives, our bodies. I hated it when they forced us to get vaccinations. Hated it. That's a health care issue. Some people were concerned about vaccines. There's information coming out now that vaccines could have been harmful to people. I don't know, not getting into that controversy. But it should be a person's choice whether they want to take the vaccine or not. So I didn't like the government pushing that on us and mandating it. I didn't like it. Because that's our bodies, and that's really an issue of health care, no doubt. Especially when we got into all the controversy that, the vaccines didn't prevent you from getting COVID. We know that already. But again, I don't even want to go there. It's a whole other issue, and I don't want people being diverted from or distracted from the main issue here. This is my feeling on this, okay? And, again, just to review, the Roe versus Wade, it does not make abortion illegal all over the country. What it says is you don't have that right according to the Constitution. It was an error in that ruling. You don't have a constitutional right to have an abortion. That's all it's saying. Send it back to the states. The states can make that decision for all those people. The majority of the people in that state, if they're pro-abortion, then they can have abortion. If not, come to California, they'll give you an abortion. Go to New York, they'll give you abortion. But if you're in a state where they don't want abortion, well, they're going to vote it down. So it's the will of the people, not just one sector of the people, but it's the will of all the people. They can make those choices. And again, I really want you to weigh in, people, in your comments, on what Eric Adams had to say. Do you believe that abortion should be allowed right up to the moment that that child is born, a fully formed fetus at 9 months? And do you believe that's health care? What does it have to do with health care? Explain that to me. The mom's life is not in danger. Not at all. Just she makes a decision, I don't want the baby, kill it. That's what it is, people. At 9 months, that's what it is. All right, you see me get a little bit passionate about it. I can't help it. And I hope you understand what I did say in this. And I'm going to say it one last time. I don't like the government interfering in our personal lives. I don't like it. When they make laws for the benefit of all the people, okay, I get it. You can't go around robbing people. You can't go around murdering people. You can't go around stealing. You can't bust into stores. You can't do stuff like that. You can't drive at 100 miles an hour. It's unsafe. You're endangering other people. You're endangering other people. The government has a right, and not only a right, they have an authority. And they have a demand to do that. That's their mandate, protect society. I don't understand how aborting a baby at 9 months old has anything to do with the health care. I don't get it. But maybe you can explain it to me. Now, well, you know what? If you're going to say this, the mother's not in a position, she's a single mom, she's young, she's not in a position to take care of the baby, put it up for adoption. There are plenty of people that want to adopt children here. You can't afford it, so it's a matter of health care. No, it's not. Put it up for adoption, somebody will take the baby, no doubt. So, I know I'm going to get slammed. I know I'm going to get controversy. Christians, hear what I'm saying. I am a person of faith. Biblically, abortion is condemned. Not supposed to have it. I get it, okay? But I'm giving you my heart. And as a Christian, I'll abide by that. I understand it. One last thing, hotbed issue. In a matter of rape, I'm really troubled by that. I really am. I'm troubled by that. For those people that say, I don't care, even if it's rape, no abortion. I have a problem with that. And I'm struggling with it. I have been struggling with it for years. I mean it. So I don't know. I'm glad I'm not making that decision. And if I had to make that decision as a Catholic that says biblically you can't do it, well, I'd have to do it. It would be painful. I wouldn't want to do it. But I'd have to. So I have a problem with that. But I'm a Christian. We have the same Bible. And I'm telling you, I struggle with this. In a situation of rape, I really struggle with it. I really do. I feel terrible for the woman involved. I understand the fear. I mean, I'm torn by it. I'm going to be honest with you. To me, it's a very gray area. Personally, morally, my thought process. But anyway, please, I want to hear your comments on this. Be respectful. And people, don't start yelling at one another. That doesn't accomplish anything. This is a very serious issue that needs serious consideration and serious talk. And it doesn't help to be yelling at each other or condemning people or calling out names. And please don't bring up Trump. He's got nothing to do with this. Don't bring him up. You people with the, Trump derangement syndrome, he's got nothing to do with this issue. And some people are going to tell me he flip-flops. So what? I'm not defending or supporting Trump in this regard. This is my personal opinion on it. So let's have some constructive dialogue, please. Maybe it'll help me. Maybe it'll help somebody that's on the fence, wondering about this. But the real issue, do you believe this is health care? To abort a baby at 9 months old when the mother's health is not at risk at all? I want you to answer that. That's what Eric Adams, our newly elected mayor in New York, has to say. That's it for today. So, how do I always leave you? Same way, people. Be safe. And I really mean that. Be safe. We have some tough cities around the country that are experiencing some terrible things. Be safe, especially you ladies. Be healthy. Take care of yourself. It's good advice. Everybody knows that. God bless all of you, even those of you that are struggling with decision. I know that, especially all of you, I should say now. Hopefully you come up with the right decision in your mind and you're not faced with this. That's what I pray. So be safe, be healthy. God bless all of you. Yes, I'll see you next time.